I'm not sure how I feel about the contest. On the one hand, I think it's a very creative episode, and there are specific things that I did enjoy. But also, I'm not the biggest fan of some of the animation style. This is the first segment in the fourth episode of the fourth season of Arthur, and Buster is trying to come up with ideas for a TV show, and everybody else thinks they want to take part as well, because the winning entry has their idea turned into reality. Well, into the TV show. And each of them describes what their idea is, and then it cuts to that vision. And we get to see that vision being played out, but in a slightly different animation style. And yeah, having a different animation style there helps to distinguish between the show and the visions in their head for their TV episodes. But I'm not the biggest fan of that animation style. It didn't sit right with me, and I don't know why exactly. I think it was maybe just a little too rough around the edges, a little too different. And all I can say is I'm glad Arthur is not animated in that style ordinarily. However, there were some references in it that I quite liked. There was a line about the Teletubbies that rather amused me, because Arthur doesn't do pop culture that frequently. Occasionally they'll have pop culture references, but there were quite a few here, such as the Teletubbies. There's a moment where Arthur and I think Buster are definitely representing Beavis and Butthead, which is definitely not the same target audience, so that was a little bit peculiar. But certainly it made it interesting. It was an interesting episode, but I wouldn't say I loved the episode. There is, however, a flash forward. I won't say what happens with the flash forward or why it's even there, but I think it was 5 years into the future. And I have to say it was pretty interesting to see these characters and what they could be like in 5 years' time. Certainly 5 years from the date of the episode. And yeah, I enjoyed that little bit of it. So there were things in this that I did like. There were things that I thought worked well, but there were also things that for me just didn't quite hit the mark. I won't say I didn't like the episode, but compared to the usual episodes of Arthur, there were actually things in it that I actively disliked. So I'd watch it again, but not in a hurry. Never going to be a favourite, but certainly it deserves credit for being creative and quite different from every other average episode. The contest is not a personal favourite, but no, I wouldn't say it's terrible. I'd say it's worth a watch at least once. I'd love to know what you think of it. I'll give it another go at some point, but it's definitely not one I hold very highly just now.